A volatile session on Wall Street today. The markets were down, then they were up, then they were down again. So let's take a look. We're just heading into the close. It's settling there about 793 points lower on the Dow today after the Fed cut rates this morning because of the coronavirus. NBC senior business correspondent Steph Ruhle's here with me now. And Steph, that rate cut designed to help the economy, given all the uncertainty with the coronavirus. Investors didn't seem to like it all that much today. What's going on?
Well, from an investor standpoint, on one level, they're saying, does the Fed know something that we don't? We haven't seen a rate cut like this. You know, other times we've seen it. It's in extraordinary times. What is extraordinary right now? But the other thing is the following. A rate cut, the idea of a rate cut is to get people and businesses out there spending and borrowing. That's the opposite of the instructions we've been given to prepare for coronavirus. While we're sitting here, more and more companies saying absolutely no travel, if possible, work from home. So the idea of a rate cut to get you out there, refinancing your home, doing some business, that's the opposite of what people are doing. So they've taken a big precautionary measure. We saw it happen in Australia. It could happen around the world from other central banks, but it might do nothing to target what actually ails us.
You mentioned all kinds of business plans changing. Google saying it's canceling its annual conference. I think one of the things, though, that startled people today from the Fed, they've got a meeting in 2 weeks. You expect them to cut rates or change rates in a meeting. Why an emergency move so close to that?
But that is the exact point, where if you've got a meeting in 2 weeks, why do it now? And that's what's led to so much speculation. Did the Fed get pressured by President Trump to do this? Because it's very important to the Fed and obviously Fed history to maintain their independence. And while there's no proof of a direct line, doing it so quickly has people panicked, saying, hold on a second. Here in New York, while there are 2 cases, people aren't feeling huge effects in their daily life. So when the Fed, that has a lot more information than we do about supply chain, about business being lost, does it, it has investors worried. One thing to actually think about, though, when you hear about all these cancellations, remember, corporations, major events, they're all insured. They'll get their money back. But I want you to think about where you really are going to see a real impact. Shift workers, the gig economy, part-time workers. If suddenly your school is closed and you're working parents, who's going to go to work that day? You can't go to work. You can't put food on your table. You're going to have to be home with your kids. We're not thinking about all those hours lost, all those jobs. And many of those people are people who don't even have health care to begin with. So there's a bottom layer in our economy that really could suffer here.
Even just looking at the markets of the last day, I mean, I think yesterday, the markets were at 1293. People said, oh, maybe we're okay. Maybe we're all right. A big wake-up call today. Maybe we're not, huh?
Maybe we're not. But again, no one, unless you're a professional investor, unless you're a day trader, which most of us aren't, yes, you want to be aware of the markets. Because you've got over 50% of Americans who do have 401ks. But you shouldn't live and die by it.
You're not day trading your 401k.
Please, I want you to take the app off your phone that's giving you all of these updates. You want to be aware, but you want to take a step back. The markets go up and down. Remember yesterday, you may have had a lot of investors saying, hold on a second, this might be my opportunity to buy the stock I always wanted to if my time horizon is 10 years. That might be the perfect time to buy an Apple, a Disney, a Netflix. But what we're looking at today, when the Fed takes action like that, the Fed isn't thinking about the ins and outs of the market every day. The Fed really knows what's going on in the underlying economy. And for me, I really am thinking about that trickle-down effect.
Big trickle-down effect, potentially. Steph, thanks so much for running us through that. Yeah, seriously, it's something scary to think about. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.